What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to talk about why the market's looking like it's trying to rebound right now, and some very, very important levels to watch for as time goes on. But just know this: I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very, very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, if you guys look at the market, we're actually up just a little bit so far, even after the unemployment numbers came out. They weren't too bad, and this does give the market a little bit of potential to try to rebound. So I'm going to talk more about this in just a few minutes. Let's first talk about the catalyst affecting the market, right? So yesterday we got Amazon and Apple announcing earnings. Things are kind of split between them because Amazon's pumping. It's up almost 7% right now, doing a good job at pushing. Why? We got some good earnings, good growth projections, and their revenue streams were doing better than expected. So all the hype involving AI and web services going up with revenue increasing and good projections helped Amazon pump. Apple, on the other hand, was very, very similar, but also some things were kind of the opposite. So basically, they beat on EPS and revenue, but other revenue streams were a little bit short. And then their guidance was not as strong as what Wall Street was expecting. They were talking about single digit growth. That's why Apple's down about 1.8%. Because Amazon's up like 7% and Apple's down only 1.8%, I think that Amazon's going to be more impactful and Amazon's going to help the market try to push a little bit more than Apple's going to, cause it to dip. That's my personal opinion. I don't think Apple's dumping that hard. It's not anything way too significant, so the market should still be okay. I also want to call out that for today, we just had some unemployment numbers. Unemployment was at 4.1%, aligned with expectations. Non-farm payrolls were a little bit short, though. They're very, very slow right now. And then other factors are basically telling us that manufacturing payrolls were below expectations and non-farm payrolls were a little weak. But besides that, most of the data was decent, except for some job openings looking a little bit weaker, in my personal opinion. Now, for other factors, just know at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes after the market opens today, we have some manufacturing numbers come out. This is going to cause a big move, in my opinion. So get ready for some volatility 30 minutes after the market opens. So we'll see what that leads to. Right now, October has been kind of uneven, a little bit split. So we'll see how things are going, at least with that moving forward. Amazon and Apple are also split because of the fact that Apple is down just a bit, but Amazon is growing, and Boeing still has more strikes that are continuing. That's something else that's worth noting. I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy, at least on the news. With that being said, what do I see for this? Just know this, guys. Here's a fact. We currently have a little bit over 270,000 of these calls expiring for today, but we have over 1.6 million of these puts expiring. Now, there's a 5.79 put to call ratio. Typically, when there's an overwhelming amount of puts expiring, we tend to see the opposite play out for the bigger position, which suggests that there could be a little bit of a bounce in the markets. The market makers may try to screw over more shorts. It's just a possibility. It's just a possibility, so we'll see how that ends up going. So as far as SPY goes, as long as we don't lose 570, if we lose 570, I'm going to be a little bit more concerned about this. But as long as we don't lose that, I think the chart is favoring that it wants to rebound a bit and get closer to about 575. And if we break that, we're looking for 577 as our next potential target. Try to fill this gap up here. So I think 575 would be coming if we break past 572. So watch those levels very carefully. 572, 575, and 577. If we end up losing 570, I turn more bearish, but as of right now, I'm favoring that's going to try to rebound for at least 575 as the most likely case. For ES, as long as we don't lose 57.50, this chart is favoring 57.80 as a potential target, not to mention 5800. I think we might be trying to push for 57.80 to 5800 very soon, and then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. But as long as we don't lose that support that I'm calling out at 57.40, I think we're going to be completely fine, and this might try to rebound just temporarily. I'm not saying the rebound is going to last an eternity. I'm just saying for now, we're going to see a temporary rebound, most likely. For Nvidia, it's a little bit weak up here. It might attempt to get close to about 136, but I think we're going to see a lot of sideways price action on it. It's a little bit lackluster compared to the markets. So it might dip a bit, try to push a little bit upon open, and see a lot of consolidation for the time being. As far as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin's trying to push right here. As long as we don't lose 69,000, I think we're favoring a push for 70,500, not to mention 71,000 above that. So I think 70,542 is coming for the 20 EMA test. So watch and see a little bit more upside as time goes on. For other factors, we have Tesla. Tesla's trying to rebound as long as we don't lose 250. We're looking for 253.86 as our resistance, not to mention the 255 area above that. And if we get above 255, I'm looking for basically 258 and 260 as our resistance areas. So I think Tesla at the very least will be looking for 254 to be tested, maybe a little bit higher thanks to all the shorts expiring. But I'm just saying this is a temporary move. I'm not saying it's going to last forever. We might just see a temporary pump. Just keep that in mind. For NQ, as long as we don't lose 20,000 flat, I think that this will try to get back up to 20,200. If that breaks, we're looking for 20,307. So look for a little bit of an attempt to get up to 20,200. For the QQQ, as long as we don't lose 485, we are favoring 488 and eventually 490. So let's see if we hold above 484 to 485. As long as that holds, we're looking for 488 and 490 as our potential targets. For Aapl, we're just going to consolidate. I think that this could dip a little bit closer to about the 220 area, but then we could get bought back up. So 220 to 223.8 will most likely be our range. We could dip a bit more before we end up getting bought back up. So we'll see how things end up going. For the IWM Russell 2000, as long as we don't lose 217, excuse me, we're favoring a push for 220. And if 220 breaks, we're looking for basically this imbalance fill towards 221.5. So I think the IWM is looking for the 220 area to be tested for a little bit more upside, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get from there. As far as coin goes, coin is also just kind of flat right now in the 180 area. We'll see if we hold 180 or not. If it does not hold 180, we're going to dump more. It's about 178. We still have a gap to fill down there, so it's a little bit weak. So it might dip a bit before it tries to bounce, so it's not looking that great. But if we do reclaim 180, then we're looking for 184 as our potential target. For now, look for a little bit of a dip first. Amazon looks more bullish, going to be looking for a test of 200. We'll see if we break it or not. It's going to be a big fight, but overall, it remains very strong and bullish. Meta is trying to consolidate right here. Thanks to Amazon, it could attempt to push up for 572, then 575 as our potential targets. But if we were to lose 568, we will turn back down. So I see potential for try to push to 572. Microsoft looks a little bit more bullish. As long as we don't lose 405, we're favoring a push for 412 and eventually above that. So that's going to be very, very probable in my opinion as well. Google's very flat right here around the 173 area, so give this some time. So we'll see how things end up developing. Anyways, with that being said, guys, I thank you all so much for listening. I think the market's going to attempt to rebound just temporarily, not saying it's going to last forever. And we'll have to see what happens with all these shorts likely getting squeezed. I think that with all the shorts expiring, the odds do favor us trying to push just a bit. So make sure you watch your levels. I'm not saying it's going to last all day or for another week or so. It just might be a temporary move. So just keep that in mind. That's why if I were to trade this, I would take profits quickly. Not financial advice. All right. So I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Thank you for listening and peace out.